Hi, good evening. Welcome to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee, and I'm here with some friends tonight. I wanted to share my passion, which I always do every week, is about helping people learn better ways to deal with life, to have the best integrity of life. And well, today I have a very good friend that actually is a new friend, but a good friend nonetheless. Because when you just vibe with somebody, you just feel good about that person. And I felt good from day one, and God just put us in each other's lives, and I think we're going to be good friends for a long time. Hi, Heidi. How are you doing?
Hi, Dee. I'm good. Thank you.
Well, we did this before.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we had a little technical difficulty, but hey, welcome to Passion for Life with
Thank
Dee and
you for
Friends.
this opportunity.
Yes, and I guess we're going to have to do this again.
Okay.
So, what is your passion for life?
My passion for life is, at one point of my life, I didn't know what my passion was, and if you asked me that when I was younger, it would have been totally different. I think when I was younger, my passion was just to be in nature around animals, and I just dreamed of just riding that horse till, up on the mountain, and but that wasn't reality. But when I got older and I became a mom later on in life, my passion was my daughter, and still is, and being healthy and fit for her is now my passion.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I know that you're doing some wonderful thing. I met your daughter, and your daughter's gorgeous.
Thank you.
As well as you. So
Thank you.
It doesn't fall far from the tree. And I know that you're involved with a lot of different things in terms of health and wellness. And we just happened to realize that we were having each other, like you like my science because I'm a scientist, and
Love it.
I love that you're a holistic individual sharing your knowledge and what have you. So I know we're going to be doing a whole lot of educating each other and helping each other. But in your day job, what do you do?
Well, by trade, I'm a licensed New York State massage therapist for almost 30 years.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
That's a long time.
It's a very long time.
Putting hands on your body.
Yes.
So you know where to go and
Yes.
everything. And you're going to need, I need some help.
Yes.
So where do you work out at?
Well, I basically, I have a small home office, and right now I'm transitioning into taking that maybe to a different space.
Okay.
But I also am encouraging myself to do something new and different, and that is to be a accountability coach.
Oh, okay.
I reinvented myself
Really?
within the walls of my massage room because I realized that there was a need for my patients to be empowered about their own health.
Yes.
And what I saw over the years is the comfortability of my clients and my patients giving up their health power to practitioners and not claiming it for themselves. And I felt like I didn't really want that responsibility.
Really?
I wanted them to take it over.
Yeah, they have to.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
so
important.
I started to call myself an accountability coach and offer them knowledge and direct them into maybe, different avenues that they can help themselves and, be empowered with their own health and take that on themselves. I like to say that we co-create health together.
Okay, cool. Well, it's all about, it's similar to maybe a psychiatrist or a psychologist or
maybe.
analyst.
I mean, I don't have any formal training.
Right.
Everything that I've learned, I've studied on my own, and it came naturally to me, I guess, because I learned over the course of the 30 years to be a good listener.
Oh, that's important.
Yes.
That's so important. And the thing is, do you give advice or you just let you listen and then?
Yes. I like to say that I dispense information.
Okay.
I dispense it. I guide, I instruct, I bestow knowledge.
Right.
I like to not have a direct responsibility, and I like to give my clients the opportunity to learn for themselves.
Right.
As we each have different needs. I mean,
Yeah.
mental, spiritual, emotional,
Right.
physical.
Yeah.
So it's really just the gamut of what is out there that each individual person has to find out their own path, and it's their own personal journey.
Right.
I don't really
definitely.
want to, impart my own personal
You
opinion.
can't. Yeah.
I want them to discover that on their own.
They have to,
Mhm.
and that's important,
Mhm.
very much. And you're just a guide
Exactly.
through life,
Yes.
and they can take it or not.
Yes.
But it's just something that you can help with. Is it similar to a life coach, or because there's a lot of coachings now?
Yes. I'm still working on my own life.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not comfortable saying that I'm a life coach because,
Uh-huh.
it's like, I am still on a journey.
Right.
I think that we also, if I may say, I am going to be 56, and I believe in 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, really?
And yes, and time goes by so fast.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I just can't even believe it. In a blink, 20 years went by.
I know.
So,
I know.
we're constantly learning, constantly
yeah,
evolving. When
yeah.
I look back, like I said earlier, 20 years ago, my needs were completely different.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's not for me to say what an individual needs are.
You're right.
It's for them to
Mhm.
make that decision and
Yeah.
to discern.
Right, right. Well, I know with myself, I'm going back to school right now, and it's called a health coach.
Yes,
But the thing is, it's all about the body, the mind, the spirit.
important.
All that's inclusive. So at this point, I know that you being coaching and you are now also going into the nutrition portion of it too.
Somewhat.
So when you coach, do this accountability coach, do you put that into that accountability? Do you talk about
Yes.
foods and
Well,
all that
the
kind of good
nutrition,
stuff?
I wouldn't really say, I'm not comfortable using the word nutrition,
Mhm.
but what I did do, and what I'm most proud of and humble that I was actually able to do it, is that in the last year I became a vegan. It's over a
Okay.
year now.
Really?
I did it through the Vegan Living Program that was hosted by the Sustainability Institute at Malloy College.
Oh, okay.
And it was also sponsored by Karuna for Animals and
Mhm.
Open the Cages Alliance.
Really?
Yes, and that is something that I am most proud of, and it was
Okay.
something that I wanted to do for a very long time.
Right.
I was actually a vegetarian
Oh, really?
since I'm 16 years old.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Not healthy.
Now, really?
Not healthy.
Okay,
Peanut
well,
butter and jelly
because-
sandwiches, French, people always say, there's a big misconception between veganism and being healthy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is, okay, explain to people what vegan is, because not everybody knows what vegan is, vegetarian is, because there's a lot of
Yes.
different what is it?
Yes. Yeah,
Pescatarian?
I'm gonna say this about it.
Mhm.
And that is that we put a lot of labels on
Right,
everything.
Right.
And it sometimes puts pressure on, to label.
Yeah.
And I consider myself, what I coined a label I gave myself is I'm a logical vegan.
Okay.
It's a logical decision for me.
Okay.
Some people choose to be vegan because of ethical reasons.
Mm.
Some
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that's, yes, huge. And some people choose to be vegan for health, and some for the environmental reasons.
Right.
There's all different kind of reasons, but the main objective to being vegan or going vegan
Right.
is to not use animals for our own benefit,
Right.
which includes not just eating animals, but it also includes not using products that were tested on animals or that have animal ingredients. That it extends to wearing leather,
Mhm.
wool, silk,
Really? Wow.
and actually even honey, which people don't.
Really? But now the thing is, I know you had said something about silk before.
Yes.
And the fact that they're still alive and there's just making of the silk, what is the problem with, or even the honey, it's
Yes.
not like they're, like it's being
Yes.
produced in nature,
Okay.
but I don't understand how.
It is a little bit complicated, and I'm not an expert on that subject. But what I will say is, in a simplistic way, it's exploitation of the animals. It's just you're exploiting them for our own use, and it's not necessary.
Really?
There are so many other options, and when human beings get involved with things, sometimes we don't always do the right thing.
I see.
So
I
it's
see.
best not to just even, we don't need to, exploit it to use any kind of animal product. There are amazing substitutes out there.
But now the thing is, a lot of these substitutes have chemicals in it that are not healthy for us. So you have to, like in terms of our clothes, and certain
choose
things,
wisely.
You have to really be
Choose
very,
wisely,
very careful.
But that doesn't necessarily, it's not just because they're a vegan product.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could be in any product across the board.
No, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
At this point, I'm trying to live a more real life in terms of my selections of my foods and what I put on my, chemicals, because
Yes.
what you put on your skin goes directly into your body.
Yes.
What you put in your hair, or all that kind of stuff affects your whole well-being. So I am looking at the chemicals and different things that I'm putting in my
Yes.
body. As I said, I'm not vegan at this point, but I am leaning, and I still do eat fish
Okay.
and wild, but I try to go with the wild because it's scary also, because the antibiotics and, it's like, oh my gosh, the chemicals that they're
There's
treating,
really no right way to do it.
It's like,
it isn't. It
what
isn't.
do you do,
You abstain. I actually thought that like I said before, I was a vegetarian since I'm 16 years old. And I didn't have any information. I didn't know what I was doing. I just did
Right.
it because I knew it wasn't the right thing to
Right,
do.
right.
And I always felt confident because I didn't eat mammals. And I thought, you know what, that's pretty cool. I don't eat mammals. And, milk didn't have any, it was justified to drink milk. And I had no knowledge at all. And, there's a lot of information out there. I mean, just go onto the internet. I mean, my Facebook page is all about veganism and, animal advocacy.
Right.
So,
So do you eat raw mostly, or do
I
you
try, but
do you
it's not an
cook?
easy.
Yeah.
It's not an easy a lifestyle. It really. It's not that it's difficult, but it's a thought. It's a well thought out.
Yeah.
Eat lifestyle.
Yeah. No.
That's really what it is.
I went to a raw food restaurant.
Okay.
I was in Hawaii one
Oh,
time.
okay.
And I was looking for a vegetarian restaurant or something. And we found this raw food vegan restaurant. And it kind of was like, really? But I was glad I opened my mind to it because it was the best food I ever had.
Really?
It was. It really was. I was like,
kidding.
I met the owner, and she was wonderful. And I would love to find one of those type of restaurants here, and patron. I would love to be able to cook like that.
I will help. I can direct you.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't cook anymore.
You don't cook
Unfortunately,
anymore.
no.
So how do you do
I
that?
cut, dice, slice, and peel, but I really don't cook. I don't really have a need to really cook.
Okay,
I
okay.
mean, like I sometimes I make some dishes, cooked food for my daughter, but I really prefer not to.
Really?
I do go out to eat.
How do you do that?
I do go out. I mean, I'm at this time of my life, I'm not doing raw. I did it, but when I did it, I wasn't vegan, and it really there's a lot of information out there, and you have to be educated and know how to do it. And the major thing I can advise people is to get the proper support and go to an expert.
Right.
I am not an expert. I can direct you to who is.
Right.
But there's so many things out there, health and the biology of the human. There's a lot.
Well, I know with myself, I've learned a lot because of who I am.
Yes.
And what I've, educated myself with, with going, my BS is in medical lab sciences, so I do have a little background. And then with this show, I've been learning a lot of different things because it is out there, you're right. It's right there for us to learn, and that's the premise of what I started with this show. It has diverse, a little bit here and there, with some of my friends coming on on the show and sharing their passions and what have you. But it all comes back to healthy living, healthy lifestyle, and the best integrity of life. And that's all about what you put inside, you know, and you have to start looking at those chemicals and those processed foods and all those things that will cause inflammation and autoimmune responses, and that's what's causing our disease.
Absolutely.
You know, so I was actually watching one of my courses, and a gentleman was on, and he was sharing about AGEs, and I'm all about the AGEs because that's my education right now about we need to lower our AGEs because that's causing a lot of disease in our life right now. It's you have to maintain the AGEs, so the stress causes AGEs, lack of sleep causes AGEs, our food causes AGEs. There's so many things that causes.
What does AGE actually stand?
It stands for Advanced Glycation End Products.
Okay.
Which is a protein sugar compound that ends up in your body. It's a very toxic compound which doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
Because it's an end product.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
once it starts accumulating, they say about 25 years old, it ends up starting, you know, when you're young, like your daughter, it kind of like doesn't form. But as you get a little older, about 25, things start, it's just like this, and then it starts going up.
We know that.
And what happens when it starts to accumulate into your body, it goes to your organs. It doesn't know where to go, so it has to go somewhere. So your skin can't, you know, so you have the wrinkles. Or it goes into just like your brain, Alzheimer's. Or goes into your blood, and it causes unhealthy angiogenesis, and it starts feeding cells that it's not supposed to feed, like cancer cells or the fat cells. Or like I was telling you, I had tags all over my body, and all of a sudden now I don't have the tags because my body is in a healthy state and it's feeding the proper cells. So things start working and working better. So that's what we're talking about, you know, and that's what you're doing, sharing, and your mind and body.
I try.
No, you're doing.
I've even gotten, I don't know if you've done this, but I've done this to the embarrassment of my daughter, but, you know, did you ever stand behind somebody at the food store and then look in their cart and you see all the unhealthy things in their cart, and I will say to somebody, you know, are you really buying that?
You do? Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
When you're there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've stopped people everywhere. I mean, like, you know, especially, you know, if like, you know, in front of the dairy counter, and they'll be like, oh, I want the organic milk. And I'm like, you do? Really? Because it really doesn't matter. You know, you're still eating another mammal's breast milk, and it's still, you know, not meant for human consumption. Yes, I do it all the time.
Really?
All the time, and I've gotten amazing positive responses.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
I guess it's how you approach a person.
Absolutely, yes.
You know, because sometimes if you approach, you know, like a preachy way, then
I try not to.
You try not to.
I probably do, but I don't. You know what,
in a humble way.
But I do believe that there's a health crisis going on right now.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, just look around. We shared this earlier. I just lost a very good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He was 73, and he was an athlete.
Really?
And he died of, you know, cancer.
Right.
And which goes to show you that being fit does not equate health.
No, it doesn't. Well, the thing is, people can be very fit, but they're putting the toxins in their body that are causing so many bad things going on. And I know you said multiple myeloma?
So, yes.
My grandmother actually passed of that.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was in the height of the AIDS, resolution.
In the 80s.
Yeah, so you kind of didn't know, actually 70s.
Oh, wow.
Late 70s, early 80s. She passed away 81. So they didn't really know what AIDS was.
Interesting.
Okay? So at that point, they were giving people transfusions and what have you, and people were getting AIDS. So in my reality of the situation. After she was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, she probably ended up getting AIDS on top of that. You
Years
know,
ago.
because the way she looked, she lost all her weight. She hung out for about 7 years.
Wow.
They said that she was only going to last for, you know, like maybe a year or two. But she did hang out, but she went through some
I
transitions.
can only imagine.
You know?
I've seen that in my lifetime.
It was heart-wrenching.
I've seen that
you
in
know?
my lifetime.
But the thing is, I grew up, and you most likely too, because you're only, what, 2 years younger than I am. And we're looking fabulous. And we're just going to keep on getting more fabulous. But the processed foods was what we grew up on.
Absolutely.
That was the generation of TV dinners and the cans, and that's what they started with. And we didn't know, and our bodies were affected by that.
That's right.
At 12 years old, I was 200 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. And they told my parents at 2, if you don't watch her, she will be 200 pounds by the age of 12. I was.
Right.
So the thing is, because I didn't know, my parents didn't know.
Who knew?
You know, so by the time I got to my 40s, I was over 300 pounds.
Wow.
So to finally realize processed foods was the detriment.
Absolutely.
And with your friend, he was healthy.
Thin,
but thin doesn't mean always healthy.
No.
You know, if you're not putting the right supplements, the right foods,
Everything.
the right things in their body, you know.
And you know, coming also from a spiritual perspective, you know, we need love, and we need happiness, and we need comfort. I mean, it's all, and we need to feel secure and safe. It's really all that balance.
Yeah, exactly.
And for a long time, I didn't really understand that. I didn't really understand what emotional meant versus, you know, mental. And now I kind of understand that. I mean, I realize that it really does take that holistic, you know, approach to being healthy. And being healthy is really, it's an active verb. It's not a noun.
No, and you know what? It's something that, it's work.
It is work.
It
is absolutely.
You know, it's like a marriage. You have to really take time to learn, and it's not something that you're not going to continue to learn.
Yes, and it's not only learning. Like my challenge, I can have all the knowledge. It's applying it.
Yeah.
And also that's why the Vegan Living Program was such an incredible experience, because it, you know, the aspect of being vegan, we had a tremendous support, tremendous community, and I'm still close with my vegan friends. They know who they are, and I love them. And you know, so what's missing, I think, today is that sense of community within health and healing, and
definitely.
that support group. And especially where we live, it's difficult because a lot of the health retreats and spas, they're not in New York. You know, they're in California, Arizona, Florida. So, you know, it's a little bit more of a challenge being, you know,
that's true.
in the Northeast.
But you have something that do you have a spa type of, or it's just the massage thing at this point?
At this point, I'm developing a something.
Okay, because I saw your website, I have to say.
It's not to be revealed yet.
But it was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And the thing is, can we talk about the name and a little bit about what?
Sure.
Because I loved that concept of what is it?
Docenteva.
Oh my gosh! It's
a goddess, a guiding goddess, if you will. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. When I started reading and understanding what you were conveying to us, it warmed my soul. It really did.
I'll tell you the history of the name docent.
Okay.
I actually went to I would think it was like a Reiki convention, because I'm also a Reiki master.
Okay, and you're going to have to explain what Reiki is.
And somebody did a palm reading, which there's another name, but I don't know what it is. And she said, you know, you're basically a docent. And I said, I have no idea what that is. She said, well, it's a guide, like a museum guide or a guide.
Okay.
And that was about 10 years ago. That stuck in my head, docent.
Okay.
And I just liked the way it sounded. And I just, from there, I just decided to, name my website Docent Deva.
And then Deva, what is that?
Deva is a female goddess.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yes, a spiritual, a female, energy.
Okay. Cool. And so, and what's the Reiki?
Reiki.
Reiki
is universal loving energy. Universal loving. Reiki is universal loving energy. That's what Reiki is. It's just energy.
Okay.
Universal energy. It's not. You don't have. It's such a amazing modality.
Now it's auras and.
There's so much to it. We're going to have to save it to another show.
Oh, shucks. Okay.
Yes.
Well, do you feel anything from people when you meet them, or how?
Well,
do you?
Yes.
You do.
But again, humble, because I feel like it's really not my place, or I do pick up. I am, after years of doing massage and being so intimate with people, I have developed intuition, and I am somewhat empathic.
Okay.
And that part of my journey will continue, because I can only learn so much at one time.
I know,
and,
it gets overwhelming.
I can only, yes. And
does.
like right now, I'm really focused on choosing the best lifestyle and food, within my vegan constraints.
Right. That's so cool.
Thank you.
That's really cool. Well, I'm still learning. And even though I'm going to be hitting 60 in a little bit, scary.
We'll have to celebrate.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Without a doubt. Because as I said, you were definitely in my circle at this point. And it will be for a long time. But I also feel a little empathic, We
all are.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
It's just like you have to feel it and recognize it. And a lot of people don't, they suppress it.
Absolutely.
So they don't really want to embrace what they're feeling. So but if you look back when you were younger, you really had that sense.
Yes.
And you had to just really just kind of, okay, listen.
Yes.
A lot of us don't listen to our inner self.
Yes.
So.
And I feel for me it was spiritually guided, because I consider myself to be an accidental healer. I never wanted to be a massage therapist, so this was a field that I never even entered my mind.
Well, how did you get involved?
I was actually in school doing my undergraduate work in speech and hearing science.
Okay.
I wanted to be either an audiologist or a auditory teacher.
Really?
And work with the hearing impaired.
Okay.
And I was homesick. It was out in Pennsylvania, and I came home. I didn't want to go back. And I started working for a chiropractor who was and is my cousin. And I met massage therapists that he had on staff. And he looked at me and he goes, go to school for a year. What's a year? And then go back to school, you'll have a trade.
Okay.
And he said, and you'll go back to school when you want.
Right.
And I never went back. I tried, but I never went back until 4 years ago.
Right.
And now I'm finally finishing my bachelor's at Empire State College.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So you're doing it online also?
Actually, I have a mentor.
Oh, okay.
And I do actually physically go to the school,
Oh,
but I
okay.
do some of it online, but it's a lot of writing.
Yeah?
Yes.
So what are you studying?
I'm getting my bachelor's in health and community service.
Okay. That's a good one.
Yes, and really
Very
basically
good.
what I'm interested in, and this is what you and I shared, and why I was so excited to meet you, is I'm really interested in how we can reduce our risks for cancer, and really, like, how does that happen? How does one person get cancer? How does one person smoke and drink and they live to 100? What happens? So,
It's those AGEs.
I guess it is.
It is.
And
No, but the thing is, some people don't develop the AGEs. Some people just, their body doesn't really work. It's not, it does, those compounds don't
Right.
go together.
Well, that's what I'm going to find out.
You know? And so some people, unfortunately, they're just predisposed to it. Environmental, what have you. There's so many things. You know, people say genetic. It's not necessarily genetic. I don't feel.
I agree.
You know, it's a genetic thing. You know, people have to stop that.
I agree.
You know?
I'm very passionate about that. I agree.
Know, people have to, you know, realize that they don't have. That's a cop out as far as I'm concerned.
I love hearing that because that's actually a passion. Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I said, I know, we're like right here.
And you know what, just to add, that's not taking responsibility.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where I like to come in and say that, you know, that's why I just wanted to put it out there.
Right.
You know, be accountable.
Yeah, exactly. You're a straight shooter.
Okay.
You're a straight shooter. I'm a straight shooter. I know your daughter's saying, yeah, she's a straight shooter. Because I wanted your daughter on here, and you was like, nope, not today. She's not.
Maybe in the last 5 minutes.
But it's just important that we share information and keep sharing this information so that people will know that it's not that hard to live a good life, you know, and you can still have a good time.
Absolutely.
You know, but do you have to put those foreign things in your body? And you know what? We're going to talk. We're going to take a commercial. So we'll be right back. I know it's been a while.
I think this is a good time to tell you. You're doing okay, Mom. I can call you Mom, right? I know we haven't known each other very long, but you seem like a real keeper. You're not perfect. There was that strained carrots incident, but you're trying. You pick up my bottle every time I toss it out of my stroller. That's high comedy to an 8-month-old. You hum the Barber of Seville when you wash my hair. So cool. And your rub-downs are out of this world. Anyway, I want you to know how much I appreciate you. You know, right? How much I love you? You're doing okay, Mom.
Galaxy Luxury Coach is a full-service limousine and party bus company. Family-owned and operated, we are an industry leader with over 25 years of experience in providing best-in-class luxury transportation for your special event. Whether it's your precious wedding day, an all-day wine tour out east, your high school prom, that special birthday, or just an amazing night on the town, our professional chauffeurs stand ready to ensure your special event is truly special. Galaxy Luxury Coach has one of the largest and modern party bus fleets in the New York area. Our party buses are simply nightclubs on wheels. Concert sound systems, light shows, lasers and strobes, multicolor LED lighting brilliantly lights your party bus inside and out. For corporate and more laid-back events, we will cater to your specific needs and requests. What sets Galaxy aside from all others in the luxury transportation industry is our attention to detail in customizing our services to your special event. At Galaxy, it's all about you and your guests. Galaxy customers return time and time again because they know they can trust Galaxy to help deliver those lifetime memorable moments. Step aboard and let your Galaxy experience begin.
My name is Dr. Robert Brevard. I'm here for Multi-Medicine in Westbury, New York. We're located at 1065 Old Country Road, Suite 214. Been here for about 15 years. The practice has medical doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists. We also do pain management, and we have orthopedists on staff. Here at Advanced Multi-Medicine Rehabilitation, we've got physical therapists on staff who treat an array of conditions, from neck pain to back pain, shoulder pain. We treat carpal tunnel. We treat a lot of car accident patients, slip and falls. We treat patients with knee injuries, with ankle injuries. We have state-of-the-art equipment. We've been here for over 15 years. Vast array of diagnostic testing, from x-rays to EMGs. What is an EMG? It's a diagnostic test that allows a doctor to determine where the pinched nerve is. Cora is a physical therapist at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. She's working on Stephanie, who was involved recently in an automobile accident. Stephanie has tight thoracic and cervical musculature, and Cora is doing some myofascial release work and some therapeutic stretching doing it to help her with her pain. Vicky is also a patient here at Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation. Vicky is now working her leg muscles, specifically her quadricep muscles, trying to strengthen them after an injury she sustained. If you find yourself in need of any type of physical therapy, please don't hesitate to call Advanced Multi-Medicine and Rehabilitation, located in Westbury, New York, in Suite 214. Phone number is 516-334-7000, or find us on our website at advancedmultimedicine.com.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV. You are the man.
This is Beth.
Hi.
Oh, congratulations. When are you due?
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, look at that. Excuse me.
You're totally thin.
You look very sexy.
For life's bleachable moments, all it takes is 3/4 of a cup.
Hi, welcome back to Passion for Life with Dee and Friends, and I'm Dee, and I'm here with my friend Heidi, and we just talking like we always do, and I got her to drink some of my beverage, and hopefully it's going to help her little sniffles. How's it taste?
It's delicious.
Okay. Life's good. You know, I'm going to get a convert out.
It is. It's very good. I actually like it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's all organic, no animal products, all from natural fruits and
I like the
medicinal
flavor a lot.
plants. No,
Mhm.
it's actually has transformed into this phenomenal supplement that just makes your body. I take it every day.
Okay.
And I don't really like to talk about it because it's not an info commercial.
Okay.
But the thing is, I take it every day, and it's helped me stay away from colds. If I do have a little sniffle or anything, it just keeps my immune system in check. I have no issues with, well, I had a lot of autoimmune disorders and stuff like that. And all those things, because I have alopecia, had eczema.
Really?
I had a lot of different, when I did a show on autoimmune diseases, all of a sudden I'm checking, oh, I got this, oh, I got that. Didn't realize all these were autoimmune diseases. And why? Because I was eating the processed foods.
Absolutely.
And my body was like actually attacking itself.
Right, and now we have GMOs.
Oh my gosh.
Which is another whole show.
Oh my gosh, you know
That's
what?
another show.
It's like, well, it's all interrelated. Because those chemicals, the GMOs, the antibiotics, you know, because you see our kids with the antibiotics, they look like they're grown men and women, you know, at the age of 10.
True.
Okay? They're having their menses, they're, you know, having hair on their faces, and why? Because our cows are having antibiotics,
well,
and growth hormones so that they can get big and
right.
And
which
so
is another reason why we need to go vegan.
Okay.
I had to say it, you know, I had no choice.
I still, it's like scary a little bit, you know.
It is scary. Change is scary.
Yeah, no, it is.
Change is scary.
It definitely is. I'm like, oh.
And it is scary, but you know what? Like I had previously said, there's so much support out there.
Oh, yeah.
And once you have a understanding and a comprehension of that animals have feelings and the definition of a sentient being, it's almost like you can never look back.
Right.
You can never. I mean, I've done a lot of different things in my life, and courageous things and adventurous things, but I really have to say that what I'm most proud of is my decision to be vegan.
Right.
And I never thought, I love to eat. You know, I mean, I love to eat, and I thought that I could never, ever give up a tuna melt or, you know, salmon and cheese. But surprisingly, it's easy. It wasn't really that difficult.
So what do you eat? Yeah.
Well, what should I eat? Or what do I eat? Or two different things. You know, there are a lot of, if you go to Target, Target has vegan meat substitutes. I mean, it's just everywhere. It's just amazing. My daughter just celebrated her sweet 16, and we had the most delicious vegan birthday cake and pies. Can I say the name?
Yeah.
Christina from Seed and Sugar, I believe. She did a phenomenal job.
Really?
And yes, and you would never. My sister was like, she was like, this is not vegan. It can't be, because it was so delicious.
Well, I know that I've had like tofu cheesecake.
Yes.
And people make the face. Ugh, oh my gosh, you know. And then when they try it, they're like, oh, this is tofu cheesecake? And I'm like, yeah, it is. And they're like, oh my gosh, can I have the recipe? I'm like, well, of course I didn't make it. But, you know, I had gotten it from this Jewish bakery.
Okay, yes.
Because they do a lot of...
In Brooklyn?
Well, no, actually in Queens.
Oh, okay. Yes,
and
absolutely.
he used to make it for me, and he saw me. I used to get them for Christmas or what have you, and I'd give them out. And everybody's like, first they had the face.
That's right.
And then when they tried it, they were like, okay,
it's amazing.
Are you going to bring it again? You know, definitely. But...
not necessarily healthy.
Well, yeah, because the sugar and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not necessarily healthy, but at
true.
least we don't have to feel denied.
Yeah. And occasionally when you want to enjoy some of those little sweet treats,
absolutely,
you know, that's not too bad. But the thing is, in terms of the other stuff, you know, like the sweet stuff, we can work with the vegan. Okay. But what about what kind of supplements? What beans and all that kind of stuff? How do you get where are you getting your protein?
Before I talk about that, I'm going to talk about something that I've been studying for over 10 years. I study. I may not apply it or practice it, but I believe in it wholeheartedly, and that is the philosophy and the science called natural hygiene.
Okay.
Natural hygiene is a set of principles. It's based on a raw food diet, but it's not exclusive to it. And it's also involves sunshine and fresh air.
Oh, we need that.
Yes, and mental poise and community and faith. But the major principle behind natural hygiene is a raw food diet, and mainly fruit.
Really?
Yes. And I brought a book with me. Can I show it?
Yeah, sure.
This is my Bible.
Okay. So, okay, what is that, 80-10-10?
Yes.
The 80-10-10 diet.
Yes.
Okay.
I had a client about at least 10 years ago that introduced me to the concept of raw foods. And when she first said that, I was like, what could you possibly eat? I couldn't even imagine what a raw food diet looked like. Or
Right.
I had absolutely no idea. But I had these angels in my life, and I had beautiful people that actually taught me and guided me and gave me these books and, you know, pointed me and guided me like I want to guide other people now into this direction.
Right.
And I've been researching and studying this, and I believe that it is the way to true health.
Right. No, I know that with my changes that I have implemented since January, and basically not eating a lot of, well, my first, I guess, 2 months, I did not eat any kind of meats, fish, anything. So basically it was mostly raw. For my first month, it was all raw.
How'd you feel?
I felt great.
Great.
I felt great. I lost, first 10 days, I lost 14 pounds.
Great.
And within that first, I guess, month, I lost probably about 25 pounds, close to 30 pounds. So it was significant, extremely significant.
Terrific.
And, you know, people saw the change in me. And I've lost a total of probably 55 pounds.
Wow.
Within
Congratulations,
like 8 months or
Dee.
so, yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So, you know, when people see me
That's
now,
amazing.
I went back to work. I was out of work for about 5 months. So when they saw me, they were like, wait a minute, what happened? Are you okay? Some people just, I was like, well, do I look good? What's up? Because they were like, did you try to lose weight?
What made you, what was the turning point?
Well, I had been on so many diets, okay?
Me as well.
I have been on every single diet, you know, in terms of pills. I've done, Jenny Craig, White Watchers, I don't know how many, numerous times.
I hear you,
the
girlfriend.
Processed foods,
I hear
all
you.
that. I even did lap band
Did
surgery.
you really? Okay.
I did too. And actually, I still have it. But, you know, the lap band surgery, it did have me finally feel full for the first time. But I found what was going on was basically my fat cells were they were getting too much of blood source. And because fat cells actually work like cancer cells.
Wow.
You know, to really think about it. And what happens is that the angiogenesis actually will feed the fat cells like they feed cancer cells and starts having a food source, and it just gets bigger.
It's amazing.
Okay? So my body just couldn't help it because I was feeding it toxic food.
But we didn't have that knowledge. But
No.
we just didn't, you know. And I remember growing up, because I also had a weight problem my whole entire life. I joke because I was an incubator baby, and I said that was probably the only time I was ever skinny. And, you know, but I watched my, you know, friends and my sister when she was young, and I just could not eat what they ate.
Right.
I don't know, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know why. And so I can relate to you when you say that, because I know what that's like. I did the whole, you know, and really for me what it came down to was my body just, it was really the animal protein. I mean, also because we didn't know how bad it was, and we didn't know that we needed to have a limitation. I mean, just think about all the dairy that we ate growing up, and when I gave,
milk.
We had milk and cookies when we came home.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, it's just an amazing thing when you look back and the knowledge that we have now. It's just you know.
And you know what? It's like when I started using these beverages and these products and stuff like that, I saw my life started changing. And I saw that my body started changing. And actually, I was a customer with this for about 8 months because I wasn't interested in selling or sharing. But then after a while, I couldn't help but share because people started asking me because they saw the difference in my body and my whole being.
Right.
So I was like, oh, they were like, we want what you, and I had surgery.
Wow.
And at that point, that wasn't, and I was exercising like a crazy person, but it wasn't, nothing was going. But when I started using this, things started changing. My eyes, things started just making, it started looking different.
Well, there's definitely something in here that your body needed.
Yeah, yeah. And so all of a sudden, people wanted it. And I was like, well, okay. I had 3 customers and I wasn't in the business. So I jumped in. I was like, okay, and I haven't looked back.
Good.
So thing is, that was just a part of it. So, but I still was kind of like here with the weight. So finally, I went to a coach, and he did a lecture, and it was like, I've been doing the show, but I still didn't know what to do. People were sharing. I met some other folks that were big into nutrition, and they were sharing and helping and what have you. But I needed somebody to actually say, okay.
That support, it's amazing when that makes a difference.
I couldn't do, you know, they were sharing things and doing things and what have you, but I couldn't get the real, I just needed, maybe I needed just to pay the money and let them tell me exactly. You needed to put a value on that. Yeah, you know, because they were sharing, but I just couldn't go active with it. So when I started doing this, well, I went to his lecture, and he just kind of like talked my mind and what I was doing, but then I wasn't doing it.
Right.
And it just kind of like, okay, now if I pay you, you tell me what to do, exactly what to do. And
that all comes down to that we all need that individual attention sometimes, and we need to be heard, like I said before.
Definitely, definitely.
So, and it's that, you know, that sense of, you know, community and, you know.
Yeah, no, it's the validation.
Absolutely.
You know, it's definitely the validation. It's all about people listening, and since you're a good listener, and I've always been a good listener, and so to go to this new life that my new journey, or continuous to grow to another journey, because now I'm moving towards coaching and helping people just see what they need to do, but they come to that decision.
Yes.
You know, it's like, well, rather than doing it this way, maybe, you know, and they're like, yeah, maybe this would be a better, a politically correct way to go. You know, I had a gentleman at my job today. He had gotten a very low grade in one of his master's courses that he was taking. And apparently it was a ethics course, and it was a theologist that was teaching the course. So he was like, this is going to affect the fact that when I go for my PhD, and, you know, a C is not acceptable, my average, you know, and I was like, well, he's like, I'm going to go talk to the dean. I said, well, why would you go talk to the dean? Because now you're going to create an issue with your professor. You need to go to him and say, you didn't really understand what, you know, can you please explain what you needed to do, you know, to get a better mark on my paper, because apparently there was miscommunication. Now, the thing was, he explained to me that this man was into spirituality and he wanted to teach all this, and he was being, you know, combative, or he was being, he didn't want to embrace that. And I was like, well, you don't have to embrace it per se, but if that's what he wanted in his course to express, you need to embrace that.
Yes.
So you can get your grade.
Yes.
You know, so you give him what he needs, and you don't have to embrace the concept per se.
Exactly.
But you need to, you know, but people don't always, they want to be who individual. But you have to kind of, okay, compromise.
Feel things out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You know, but he was like, oh, wow, you know, this is actually good, you know, that you just talked to me rather than letting me go that route. And it's just how we get giving out that free info.
That's right. Well, you had intuition to guide him. You know, I mean, that was like a thing, you know, you possessed that quality that you had that intuition, so it worked out.
And you know what? That's who we are. And I can tell that's definitely who you are. That's when you touching people every day. Do you practice every day?
Do I practice massage every day?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I practice, I try and practice every day, teaching people and giving them information, like I said, wherever I go and whoever I come in touch with.
Are you working out
other than my own family that won't listen to me?
your daughter?
Of course, you know. My daughter is vegan. We did the program together, and it's because of my daughter that I am vegan, because she was my #1 support.
Really? So she doesn't eat any meat products?
No, she's the vegan police.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
We went to an animal sanctuary 2 years ago, and she saw the animals, and, you know, were beautiful creatures, and, you know, she fell in love with a pig named Miriam.
Okay. And
I said to her when she, you know, I said to her, that's your bacon. You know, I was very blunt about it, and, you know, when she didn't have an awareness, she would eat, you know, the school lunches. So it was chicken nuggets and whatever it was. So she would come home from school, and I would say, oh, what animal did you eat today? So, you know, I kind of put that, you know, out there for her. But when she went to the animal sanctuary, she became vegan almost like within like, she went from just being 100% carnivore to being a vegan within maybe like 6 months.
Wow.
Which took me 40 years. So.
Well, has it changed your whole perception, your whole body?
I put my head on the pillow at night, and I feel like I can rest easy.
Right, right.
I just, there are no real words to describe how I feel, other than the fact, I mean, it's like I said before 3 times. I know I've said this, I'll say it again. I'm so humble. I'm saving lives. You know, I mean, I'm saving beautiful creatures and that deserve to live.
So I know that you said on your website that you're, what, a holistic advisor too? Or I know you said, I think it said something about, or, well, advisor.
Yes.
It didn't say, and it didn't say anything about the accountability, but it did say advisor. And I thought it said holistic.
Maybe.
You know,
I haven't looked
but
at
I
it
know
for a while.
with the docent, what
Docent Diva.
Diva or
D-E-V, yes.
Diva or Deva?
It's D-E.
D-E.
Yes.
You know,
Docent Deva.
Deva.
Yes.
Okay, Deva.
Not Diva.
Okay.
It's close.
It's close.
I'm a diva.
You know? Yeah,
it's
why
okay.
not? You know, it's all good.
I can take it.
We're all divas in here.
That's right.
We all are, and it's a good place to be. You know?
Absolutely.
Because we believe in ourselves. Divas are, you have to empower ourselves.
Absolutely.
And you empower, because you can't empower anybody unless you empower yourself first.
Yes.
You know?
It's an interesting journey.
Yes.
It really is.
You know, and I'm so glad you're taking this journey and just sharing it with other people.
Oh, thank you.
And,
I'm glad to have,
you know, and we're going to definitely do this.
Opportunity and
we're going to do this
my
again.
15 minutes of fame.
Well, now it's going to be longer than that.
Okay.
You know, because we got to claim that. And because I'm meeting all these phenomenal women and men, you know, that are just in my same pathway.
Yes.
And sharing my same dreams. And it's just...
It's a recognition.
Wow.
It's a soul recognition.
It's
when
so
you
cool.
see that.
Because we met at a Ripple.
Yes, we did.
We met at the
I
Ripple.
love them.
Oh my gosh. You know, next time I won't be able to make it,
okay.
unfortunately.
Okay.
So, because it's on a Friday night.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm like,
okay.
But I'll be there in spirit for
Okay.
sure. You know that.
Or maybe they can move this to another night just for you for that. No,
well,
it's set, huh?
Oh,
We'll see.
That would be cool.
We'll see.
But
see what we can manage.
or maybe we have the ripple here.
Yeah, that would be nice. Let's just film the ripple. Okay.
That would be so cool.
That would be.
But the ripple is all about empowering and
Women.
and actually giving and being able to receive.
Yes.
Because women don't know how to do that.
Classically, we don't.
Oh my gosh, it's like we can give, but how do we receive? Not that good. So now we have to start learning to receive, and that's
right.
what this is helping us do.
Yes.
And that's wonderful.
And we need that.
Bringing that ha in.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to wrap it up.
Okay, terrific.
And you have to promise to be here again.
Okay.
Wait, what's the hesitation?
Okay, I definitely will. I enjoyed myself immensely. I thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I just appreciate everything.
Oh, well, I appreciate you.
Thank
and
you.
You know what? Give your digits.
Okay.
Like your website, your email address, your
give,
telephone number.
Okay, I'll just give my website.
Something that
is, I wish I could hold it up, but I can't. www.
Talk to the camera.
DOCENTDEVA.com. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And Heidi, thank you for being my friend.
Oh, thank you.
And next week, Passion for Life with Dee and Friends. See you next week.